to know that we are at a point where 2 Palestinian women are going to be speaking on the same stage, and there's no tokenization, appropriation, that this is about real solidarity, and to know that someone like Linda goes beyond work for Palestine, for Muslims, but she represents solidarity. Y'all, we are living in dark times that will forever define who we are. Will define who we are as residents in this country, as citizens in this world, as humans on this earth. At the U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Human Rights, we understand that only when we uplift and center connections between the struggle for Palestinian rights, the struggles for indigenous, Black, and brown communities, and other marginalized groups impacted by U.S. policies, both within and outside U.S. borders, we all will rise. We all will be free of persecution, and we will all finally breathe liberation. There is a global divide between those who believe in freedom and equality for all, and those who justify racial and religious supremacy. While every struggle for freedom from Palestine to the U.S. is unique, it is our values that bring us together. That is solidarity. Right-wing, repressive, anti-democratic governments are rising around the globe, from the Trump administrations in the United States to the governments of president in Brazil, in Israel, and in the Philippines. Since Donald Trump came to power, his administration has charted out the most racist path for the future, denying people who are Black, brown, Muslim, immigrant, refugee, LGBTQ, and our women their rights to live in safety and freedom. Y'all, yes, these are debilitating times, but this is also a political moment for crises for rights globally. It presents opportunity to build a stronger movement for justice. Right now, we are witnessing a new U.S. far left, DSA. We are taking power in progressive wing of the world. Advocates, women of color, people in Congress, Black and brown activists are being attacked and targeted and marginalized because we all know that collective liberation threatens supremacy and supremacy's opponents.
Hey guys.
Hey, I'm Annie Levin, this is Alex Holmstrom-Smith, and we are members of Sing in Solidarity, and that is the choir of New York City DSA. We are cultural organizers, and we perform agitational propaganda at political events all over New York City. We also believe a better world is possible, and that better world should include some damn good socialist music.
All right, so we're gonna sing the Internationale, which is the, supposedly you guys have these lyric sheets in your packets or something, so please take it out. If you can take a look at your lyric sheets, in the chorus, which is starts the third one down, there is a his pronoun. We're gonna use they, so try to keep that in mind, okay? And just a little bit about this song. It's been like the anthem of the international working class since the 19th century. Socialists, communists, anarchists, democratic socialists, everyone has been singing this song, and so when we all rise together, which is what we're gonna ask you to do, we are evoking that history and reaffirming our commitment to the international working class struggle.
Oh, okay. I just want to recognize a few ways that DSA is practicing solidarity right now as we convene to democratically make our organization ever more equitable. Children are welcome. We have 6 kids here at convention, the future of our movement, being watched by lovely child watch folks and sometimes gracing this room with their presence as well. And a breast or chest feeding area. We have a quiet room where the convention is being live streamed while comrades take care of themselves. By having a national harassment and grievance officer in place, we're promoting a culture where people feel safer and we listen to survivors. So can I see a silent show of appreciation and solidarity for the workers who are making this gathering possible? Yes. Amazing.
So I'm here to dare you, DSA. I'm here to dare you to center the most marginalized people. I dare you, DSA, to see solidarity as a verb, solidarity as a form of action. I dare you, DSA, to be not about you, DSA, but about the most broken and marginalized and hurt people in this country who are counting on you to get your shit straight so we can get our country straight. I want to dare you, DSA, to remember that you live in a country where there is fascism, full-blown fascism is happening around us. And if you don't see that, then we got problems. You are living in a country where we are literally stripping babies from the mothers of the arms of their mothers. We're literally caging children that have no adequate food or medical care. We literally are stripping children where we don't even know if they're ever going to be reunited with their families. You live in a country that has stripped 23 million people of health care, and every day somebody's trying some way to strip the rest of us with health care and want to ban or block others from even ever trying to get health care. You live in a country who's literally every day trying to find different ways to strip LGBTQ people of their rights. A country that every day, and maybe there are days where you may not hear about it because it's not on Twitter, where unarmed black people are being killed on the streets of their communities all across the country at the hands of police and gun violence. A country where we are literally weakening union power. A country where there's always more threats of war every single day. We are not just living in really dark times, and people say that, and it's true, but we've been here before many times before. So I say to all of you that while you're all trying to build the revolution, while you're all trying to smash patriarchy and end capitalism, which is probably something we may all agree on here, in the meantime, there are really hurt, broken people that know that that's not happening, at least not by next year. So that means in this time, DSA people will have to realize that we got to alleviate harm on the people who are being the most harmed in this country. So don't be all about you and your, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't feel. It's not about you. It really is not about you. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I've been a little frustrated watching this whole thing. Procedural stuff, there's 5 hours of against this and against that and for this and for that. There are people that are dying in our country. There are people who don't have health care. There are people at the borders right now who are without adequate food, being treated less than animals in our country. And we don't have time for this. Get it together, DSA. Give your resources to DSA. This is all we got, my folks. We are all we got. This is it, people. There's no alternative to what we're trying to do here.
Forgive this, please. My name is Mel, she, her, from Central Jersey. Thank you for your time to the chair and the delegation for this very difficult thing that I'm about to do. I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda to include consideration of Resolution 24, adopting the restorative justice model in DSA, due to an error by the Resolutions Committee during the consent agenda poll, which resulted in an incorrect and significantly misleading cost estimate. Restorative justice is not on the agenda because an extra 0 accidentally typed to the cost and never corrected led delegates to believe Resolution 24 cost 10 times more than it would. This misinformation is significant enough to delegitimize its performance on the consent agenda poll, and it deserves a fair vote at this convention. So to restate, I'm making a motion to include consideration of Resolution 24 and that it be included in the governance debate block, not harassment and grievance, because restorative justice is a cultural
Point of
shift.
personal privilege. May I request that in the future, comrades refrain from making speeches when making procedural motions? Brendan Davison, Kansas City,
This is
he, him.
important.
Okay, so
Everyone needs to know why we're
Sorry.
voting on it, not just that we will.
Okay, are there more procedural motions? Or can we please move on to debate?
I'd like to make a motion.
What's your motion?
I'd like to motion to amend the agenda to bring resolution number 11, cop exclusion from the DSA, as the next thing after the decriminalization or the criminal justice discussion.
And what is number 11?
Blanket cop exclusion from the DSA.
Okay, and you want that to happen after the package of number 54 and 28?
That's correct.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Chandler, they, them, and as far as I know, I'm the only delegate, correct me if I'm wrong, here from Mississippi. Organizing in the Deep South is not only dangerous, but in Mississippi, poverty is not just a word, it is something that we feel deeply. And when you're trying to organize poor people, asking them to spend their last $5 on personal fundraising is not an option. And I know because some months the last $5 of my paychecks go to national directly. So, we've had Confederates and white nationalists show up to our reading groups, not meetings, reading groups with guns and threaten our lives because we are forced to choose public meeting spaces due to financial restraints. And Pass the Hat would make sure that no other small chapter has to deal with that. No other small chapter has to spend their last $3 when they live paycheck to damn paycheck, just trying to get resources. We're not asking that we don't have to pay dues. We're asking that we have support from an organization that we give everything to. We risk our lives for national, and Pass the Hat would ensure that we are somewhat supported in that. Thank you.
Okay.
I'm Julia from Seattle, she, her pronouns, and I am not affiliated with any ideological caucus. And I'm not saying let's scrap national campaigns. I'm a trans woman whose life was saved by Medicaid. I know the stakes of the healthcare fight intimately. Those of you passionate about Bernie, keep fighting that good fight, but enabling our comrades to fight for their own priorities alongside yours makes us all stronger. Redistribute power. Let's stop hemorrhaging good organizers. Thank you.
Budgets are tricky, guys, but I can say that we're projecting about $4 million in expenses for this year, and we anticipate about $3 million in revenue. So there's about $1 million discrepancy, if you'll note there. So in that context, $210,000 may be relevant.
Just, can folks in the front stop jumping up and down? It's making people uncomfortable. Thanks.
Yep, okay. So please, I know that people are really excited on all sides. If you could just refrain from jumping up and down, that would be good. Yes.
I have a point of information to the authors. Hi, I'm Andy. I use they, them pronouns only. I'm from Worcester, Massachusetts.
Okay. If you're getting a notice, hold on, could I get folks' attention? If you're getting a notice that, or your phone is flagging the website is dangerous or something, just ignore it.
Point of privilege?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I want to say, 3 times in this convention I've stood up to talk, and none of them have I gotten to. And each time that I've been in line, sorry, I'm very short. Each time that I've been in line, trying to gather what I was going to say, white men have come over to tell me what points I needed to make. I'm a leader in my chapter in New Orleans. I'm a leader in my caucus. I don't need to be told what to say. I've seen identities used as weapons in this room over and over again, and I'm tired of hearing myself spoken for. I'm tired of being told what to say by people who are wildly the majority in this room and wildly the majority in this country and feel that they have the right to dominate the political discourse. Enough. We can speak for ourselves.
Hello, everyone. Can I get all of our Texas delegates, if you're able, to stand, please? My name is Christian, and I'm here with Amanda, North Texas and Austin DSA. We're speaking, reading a statement that our El Chuco comrades wrote in light of the events yesterday, and especially with our comrade Ashley in mind today. Our hearts hurt, our souls hurt, everything hurts. We are mad, we can't stop crying, as the horrors of white supremacy has hit our beloved El Chuco. This was done by an outsider who does not represent El Paso. This was a homegrown domestic terrorist, a white supremacist who drove over 10 hours to inflict violence on our community. This white supremacist attack ties directly into the increased militarization of El Paso and our US-Mexico border, the concentration camps in our city, and the increased white supremacy rhetoric coming from the White House. And because this is a border town, the only policy or change to come will somehow be to further militarize the border in the name of safety. Why do our communities have to live through this? Why are we expected to show how resilient and united we are in the face of white supremacist violence instead of naming and denouncing it and fighting back? We are forced to live under the terror of white supremacy every day in our community, where we have children in cages and barbed wire lining the walkways of our pedestrian bridges crossing Ciudad Juarez and El Paso. When some of our very victims of this attack drove themselves home as opposed to receiving much needed medical care because they were in fear of being deported. The fact that ICE and Border Patrol were on the scene of yesterday's attack should tell you what it is like to live in a predominantly Latinx community.
I know that this was an act of gun violence, but this tragedy goes far beyond just guns. We cannot let the focus be politicized by either political party. We have to understand that this was fascism. This was white supremacy violence that directly targeted our community for the sole fact that we are over 80% Latinx. We cannot let this be another shooting brushed under the rug that is soon forgotten. This will not be a rerun. We have to do something. We cannot let people forget about what happened to us and our community. We have to come together and protect ourselves because white supremacy is here, it's been here, and it won't go away until we make it go away.
Go ahead, comrade. Thank you. My name is Jen, she, her, from Eugene, Oregon. I'm here to motivate Nobody is Too Poor for DSA, redefining member in good standing. I'm a poor person. I'm a poor member of DSA. Our chapter is a majority poor chapter. I make no money, but I give everything to DSA. I give 100,000% of my labor to DSA. Members who are poor give 100% of their labor to DSA. We love this organization. This Constitution bylaws change would simply redefine how we approach members. We would no longer refer to members as dues-paying members. Some of us can't afford that, but we still give our all to DSA. It would also redefine it as a member in good standing, because no matter what we pay, or if we can pay, we're still members in good standing.
Hi, my name's Becca, and I use they, them pronouns. I'm from Pittsburgh, and on Monday, I lost my job, ending the first period of financial stability I've ever had in my life. When I joined DSA, I had less than $5 to my name, and I was homeless. I joined DSA after a comrade, who's actually here today, thank you, Crystal, paid my dues for me. I was between jobs and had just dropped out of college for the second time. I was lost, scared, and suicidal. DSA meetings became my rock. Pittsburgh is deeply committed to Snacksis at meetings, which I am deeply thankful for, as those were among the rare meals I was able to count on. CB 23 also removes the only gendered language in our Constitution and would make sure that the DSA Constitution is inclusive of gender nonconforming and non-binary comrades. As a co-author of CB 23, I've been asked, why don't we just make dues arbitrarily small, something like $5 a cup of coffee? Please hear me when I say that when you have 86 cents to your name and no groceries to eat, $5 is insurmountable. I have also been asked if this would create a system of paper members who join but don't contribute. Please hear me when I say that a socialist organization should value its members because of how much they're able to contribute. Or we should not value because of how much they are able to contribute. We should value them because our lives are inherently important. Please hear me when I say that nobody is too poor for DSA, and please vote yes on CB 23.
I recognize the speaker at the points mic.
Comrade Chair, thank you. Point of personal privilege. I know that I am not the only one. Since other times that I've spoken, I've had other comrades thank me, but I have had to leave this floor several times from the gendered language. I am being excluded when the floor is addressed as guys. Please use comrades.
Yes, I will. Thank you. And keep the noise level down. I see another speaker at the points mic.
Thank you, Comrade Chair. Point of personal privilege. As a non-binary person, I'm deeply upset that the mention of striking gendered language, which is completely different than the motion that is currently being considered, was used to move this amendment. And if the comrade that used that wants to work with me to amend the Constitution, let's do it, but let's not introduce that into this debate. Thank you.
Comrade Chair?
Yes.
I have a point of personal privilege. I apologize for the lack of timeliness. I'm a little unused to speaking about gender in front of so large a room, but as a non-binary person as well, and as someone who knows the author, and the author is the person who spoke and mentioned that this removes gendered language from the Constitution and is also non-binary, I just ask that we not impugn the motives of people who are speaking. This is out of order, and the chair should not allow it. Thank you.
We have a lot of work to do around gender.
Move to suspend the rules to move two items on the agenda up, CB7 and CB8, to immediately following this, one speaker for and one against for each item. These are the NPC transparency and fairness amendments, and believe we're popular. I think we should make sure we get to them today.
Comrade Chair, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules.
Okay, what's your motion to suspend the rules?
I want to introduce a bylaws change from the floor to change all gendered pronouns in the constitutions and bylaws to they pronouns by unanimous consent.
Okay, are there any objections to change? Hold on, let me just think about this for 1 second.
Point of information?
Yes, on point.
I'd just like to point out, it's been done a few times through a bunch of resolutions at this convention where folks are saying DSA led the way when it hasn't been the case.
What's your question?
Oh, it's a point of information on the point that...
I know, but what's your question?
Oh, my bad. My bad. It was a debate. I apologize,
Okay,
y'all.
yep.
Howdy. My name's Ava, she, her pronouns, Heart of the Valley, DSA, Corvallis, Oregon. And like a lot of people have said today, I am really fucking tired. DSA takes a lot out of me, and it takes a lot of my time, it takes a lot of my money, and does that for everybody in our chapter.
Can I make a motion to amend the rules to resolve the dilatory situation? No, not to reconsider that. It's different.
Sorry, can we just go with the flow? I swear it's going to be easier. We have the thing on the screen. Let's just keep it moving.
This is not related to that motion. It's related to things that won't get considered during this convention, so we can talk about them democratically. Please.
Okay, could I have everyone stop leaving the room so that we can listen and potentially, if we have to vote, what is your motion?
I move to amend the rules to hold electronic votes on all remaining items on the convention agenda at the end of debate blocks on Sunday using OPA vote, with the vote to be open until August 11th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, with discussion to be held on the delegate section of the DSA discussion forum, because being present...
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
The intent is to resolve things as democratically as possible, because I know time is limited and we've had a lot of wasted time and we're not going to get to everything, but I think this gives us the best chance to get to everything as the convention.
Motion?
Yes.
Yeah, motion to Comrade Chair on suspending the rules of the day to make an agenda amendment.
Okay, what is it?
Yes, to present resolution number 12, YDSA stipends, and resolution number 44, YDSA staff review, to be presented as a package to be debated immediately.
Comrade Chairwoman, I'm so sorry. Motion to suspend the rules to move resolution 67 up for immediate discussion.
Hi, everyone, again. I absolutely understand the concern about making decisions here, but I think what we've shown over the course of the last 3 days is we don't have enough time to get to all the things we need to do in this organization. And so while I appreciate the spirit of this amendment, I oppose it because I want to see, if we create this body, it be one that actually solves our problems and doesn't just leave everything for 3 days every 2 years where we can't get anything done because we take so long to do everything.
Hi, Daniel PH, he, him, Twin Cities. I'm absolutely for this amendment. For the same reasons. Socialism is about radical democracy. This is not radical. This is absolutely centralizing. And these,
Comrade Chair, may I speak? I would like to move to refer all of these resolutions about restructuring to the same process as the last one, which was 61, I believe. 31, excuse me.
Okay.
Comrade Chair.
Back to Mike 3.
Yes, I would like to then divide the question and just refer each one of these singly.
Great. Let's do that instead. Okay, so we're just voting right now to refer CB 16 to the NPC, and then we'll once we potentially take up CB 33, we'll do the same on that one. Please don't try to bundle things if possible. It takes way more time.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to refer this 33 to the same process to which we referred the previous two.
Okay,
my name is Jose Perez,
Yep.
Atlanta, he, him.
Okay, so there's been a motion to refer CB 33 Assembly of Locals to the NPC.
Sorry. Doesn't the motion need to be motivated first?
Yeah, I mean, Jose just did that. Oh, Resolution 33.
Yeah, doesn't Resolution 33 need to be motivated and spoken for first?
Okay, so let's do that, and then we'll go back to you, Jose.
Hey, y'all. I'm Puya. I'm from Central Connecticut. He, him. I think we've spent far too much time discussing internal procedure, and I think we've spent far too much time discussing internal structure. Now, I know, comrades, that all of us understand the highly urgent stakes of our current moment when capitalists are seeking to achieve permanent hegemony. So debates that focus attention inward have prevented us from discussing what truly matters, forging majoritarian unity across DSA and across the multiracial working class. That unity is the only source of our power to challenge, defeat, and overcome the forces of capitalism, and it's the only road to victory. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Daniel Ray from Piedmont NC, pronouns he, him. I would be against, the amendment would seek to directly undermine / restructure the NPC into something totally different. The NPC has no interest in abolishing itself. This is like asking capitalist institutions to abolish itself. So that is all.
Thank you, comrades. If you believe, like I do, that direct representation is an absolute human right, you should vote for the Assembly of Locals. If you believe, like I do, and like Bernie Sanders does, that we will need to facilitate a political revolution made up of millions and millions and millions and millions of people, vote for the Assembly of Locals, because historically speaking, this is the structure that has done that all over the world for hundreds of years. This is the revolution. Vote for the Assembly of Locals, vote for direct representation, vote to uplift the smallest voices so that every single chapter in this country is heard, and so that we can do business like this in a much less stressful environment. Vote for the Assembly of Locals. Vote for democracy. Vote for freedom. Vote for socialism. Thank you, comrades.
Hi, Melissa, she, her from Philly. I have a request for information from the chair, which is motion 43 in Robert's Rules. I would like to request that the results of the NPC election be announced now.
So, just to be clear, we had a program planned around releasing the results that involves a beautiful ceremony of outgoing leaders giving incoming leaders roses. It's very warm. We're going to try and kickstart this new NPC off to a better start, frankly, than my NPC. I think we should do that. I think we should collectively do that as an organization. If we do it right now, we're probably not going to have time, but it's up to you guys.
My name's Jane Slaughter. I'm from Detroit and also from the Troublemakers Union, she, her. Guys, this has been a really fun weekend, but do we really want to do it again on a regional level 6 months from now? My chapter is going to be working on Bernie 6 months from now. I don't want my leaders to be distracted into having to run for office in the regional organization and figure out the bylaws.
Are there any new arguments?
Same argument.
Same arguments. Are there any arguments against?
Yes. Jonah, he, him from Sacramento. This resolution needs to be discussed today. It's my experience that in California, when we try to do things at the regional level, they fall apart because of factions jockeying for power. And we need to look beyond these factions and seek some guidance from the central body of our organization to do these things democratically. Otherwise, they will never get off the ground. They will always be jockeying for power. It's great that we passed the Great Lakes Authority because it does something concrete, but we'll never do anything concrete if we don't have any kind of structure there. I've witnessed attempts at the no PG&E bailout fail because our chapters can't communicate. And they'll never communicate if we don't have some way to mediate. I urge everybody to vote this down and continue debate on this subject.
Okay, so we're now going to vote on the motion to refer Resolution 26, creating the DSA Regional Coordinating Committee, to the NPC. All those in favor of referring to the NPC, raise your placards. All those opposed?
Correction.
And that fails. So we are going to continue debating Resolution 26. Hold on. Is there a speaker for and against? And I'll go back to mic 3. Just let me finish my sentence.
Okay, my apologies. The motion to refer was misstated. It's not being referred to the NPC. It's being referred to the process that the NPC is going to develop. So I think if anybody thinks that they were going to refer it, I think it should be revoted, because otherwise people think they're referring this to the MPC to decide. That's not what's going to happen. There's going to be a process to discuss restructuring the national organization, and this will become part of that discussion.
Yes. Was that the understanding that this motion to refer to the NPC for the bigger process about regional convention, regional organizing, was actually what we were voting on? Okay, we're not going to revote. Okay, can I get another speaker for?
Yes. Hi, my name is Frances, she, her, from New Orleans, DSA. I'm speaking in favor of this resolution, and I'd specifically like to speak about some experiences doing statewide organizing in my region. Last fall in New Orleans, I helped to organize a statewide summit for DSA members in Louisiana. Folks drove in from across the state and spent a weekend participating in trainings and workshops and socials with their comrades. Some people who attended had never met another DSA member in person. Everyone who attended left the summit as stronger organizers who were more determined and inspired to fight for and win socialist demands in the Deep South. The weekend was a success, but there were two things that could have gone better. First, organizing it was very hard. We did our own fundraising. We didn't have established communications infrastructure. We didn't have ways to share decision-making authority about the planning process between chapters. And secondly, but more importantly, because we lacked that organizational infrastructure, we struggled to translate the momentum and energy that came out of that weekend into greater political strength. Yes, we had built stronger relationships between chapter members, but it hasn't been easy to leverage relationships alone into organized statewide power. In order to do that, we would benefit from additional infrastructure that extends beyond our chapters, but we cannot build that alone. And that's why I support the formation of a regional coordinating committee to facilitate that process.
Thank you. All right, there's a request, no hissing, please, and no gendered language. Is there someone to speak against?
Yes. My name is Will Speck, he, him from Providence, DSA. For the record, we've had a pretty okay time doing regional organizing within New England, but that's really neither here or there. It doesn't negate bad experiences people have had. I just want to bring up a point which has been selectively made at this convention, which I think should be in people's minds when they vote for this, which is the cost. We saw it's over $280,000. Now, if that is, if you think this is a good amount of money to spend on this sort of thing, fine. But I just want to bring up that cost has only been used in a selective number of arguments and debates to vote down specific things. When it comes to sharing money with local chapters, when it came to the accessibility question, those were the only times that budget and money and the threat of bankrupting the organization was brought up. So I want to do that now. This is enough money that, according to people previously speaking, would be enough to possibly bankrupt the organization. So if you think that this is a good enough reason to risk that, vote yes.
Comrade, I have a motion.
What's your motion?
Hi. Evan, he, him. I'm the LA Climate Co-Chair with no caucus affiliation. Comrades of color, LGBT and religious minorities, comrades who are actually doing anti-fascist work.
What is your motion?
I was wrong to vote for Resolution 9. I motioned that we move to executive session and reopen debate on this question, so that we can hear their stories in a safer environment. Do I have a second? Thank you. It's a motion to reconsider. Thank you.
There's a motion to reconsider number 9, which is, okay. So that is the resolution to establish a national anti-fascist and direct action working group. So this is going to require a majority vote, and
Chair?
I heard a second.
I request that this be considered dilatory because we have no evidence that the person who brought this up actually voted in favor of the resolution number 9.
There is potentially an electronic record. I would ask that people assume good faith that people are not lying. And so my ruling would be that that the motion to reconsider is valid. You may appeal the ruling of the chair, but really I don't think that people are lying. And all those opposed? That fails. We said that we wouldn't do division on procedural motions. I did need to see it again. I took a step back. Do the other folks at this table agree that it failed? Yes. Okay, so now we're going to move back to...
Point of information.
Yes.
Hi, Emily Cameron, Fresno, she, her. Since we have a limited amount of time with the current NPC, I just wanted to ask if there's an ETA on the minutes that are missing, that have been missing for 6 months.
Anyone know that? Hold on.
Shh. It's up to the next NPC.
Cool beans, thanks.
Yep. Okay, so, all right, we're really close to the end. Okay, we are now out of time for debate. It's 1:30. So we're going to vote on Resolution 67, Organizing the Unorganized. This is a resolution, so it takes a simple majority. All those in favor of passing Resolution 67, please raise your placards. All those opposed? That passes. Okay, so we are now done with the debate session. We did not get through everything, but I would like to say that we got a lot accomplished, and we did hash out some very important political debate within this national organization. So I commend all of you for sticking through it and getting through the debate. We are actually done.
Could I please make a motion to extend debate by 5 minutes just to debate the 3 housing resolutions which we combined together? People have been working on this for a very long time. Yeah.
Can we actually do that?
Yeah.
Okay, there's a motion to extend debate by 5 minutes.
1 speaker for, 1 against.
Hello, I'm Ariel Salem from Los Angeles, and I'm a member of the Collective Power Network. As socialists, we know gentrification is more than a buzzword used for the influx of coffee shops in a neighborhood. It is the visible displacement and replacement of people for profit. We know the ongoing crisis in housing is inherent to capitalism, but neoliberal media shows the old line that it's simple economics. The truth is, there is no housing crisis. It's capitalism working as intended. As such, any housing work in DSA should be centered around the people who are most impacted, tenants themselves. Let me be clear. Current conditions demand a national strategy for housing justice. Like labor, housing needs to be addressed at once locally, nationally, and internationally. The forces of capital that impact housing markets are not confined to specific localities. They're global. Vote yes. Thank you.
That passes. Okay, we're really actually done.
Comrade Chair. Comrade Chair.
We're done. I'm now going to pass this to our the director of DSA. Will you please welcome Maria Savart onto the stage?
Comrades, how do you feel? Is that relief? It's been amazing and beautiful to watch from behind the scenes as you've practiced the democratic process. It's exciting to think about the organizing that we're going to go forth and do.
Okay, is everyone ready to welcome their next National Political Committee? I thought so. So I'm going to call the winners in an alphabetical order, and as I call you, you're going to come up in front of the stage over here, okay? Okay. Abdullah Yunus, Austin Gonzalez, Blanca Estevez, Dave Pinkham, Erica Paschold, Hannah Allison, Jen McKinney, Jennifer Bolin, Christian Hernandez, Maikiko James, Marianela Diapril, Megan Swabada, Natalie Mediri, Sauce, Sean Estelle, and Tani Tidwell. Let's give a big round of ASL applause for our new National Political Committee.
How's everyone feeling? Perhaps I should start it like this. Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
I said, show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Ladies and gentlemen, and non-binary persons, we have, for the past 3 days, been practicing democracy, been practicing democratic socialism. From the travel share to the debate about procedures in this room, all of that is democratic socialism. How many of you, by a show of hands, and don't be ashamed, how many of you enjoyed the procedural debates? How many of you came ready with your Robert's rules and you knew them? Like, keep those hands up, keep those hands up. Thank you so much for coming. Keep doing the work.
Well, since my compatriots up here have left, and I'm left holding the gavel, the new NPC is going to be meeting, and I think Amy and others are going to direct them. Thank you all. Solidarity forever. If somebody wants to sing, I can't sing, so belt it out. But sing.